Hello there, my name is Matt and welcome to my YouTube channel called Shifa. On my channel I speak primarily about the philosophy, the ideas and the thoughts which help us to heal from chronic illnesses. This video is the second part of my series looking at what I consider to be the pillars of healing. The very first video I made was belief, and this video is going to be on the subject of action. The basic idea here is that if we will for something to happen, if our will is specifically focused on something, then just willing that thing to happen is not enough. We have to also take action. Our thoughts, beliefs and actions should all be in alignment and all focused on one goal, which is healing from this chronic illness. Now, I believe that the way I personally tackled my chronic illness was somewhat of a different approach in terms of the actions I took to heal compared to a lot of different things that I've seen. Because oftentimes you see people talking about specific methods or specific ideas that help them heal. The thing that I did, which I think is maybe a little bit contrary to what a lot of people say, is my thought process was this: I need to take action to heal, I need to do something to heal. What do I do? That was the first question, and I found different diets like the Candida diet or vegan diets, paleo diet, fruitarian diet. I found all these different diets. I also found a number of different detox methods, things like cold shower therapy, doing breath work, using red light saunas, things like this. And especially if chronic illness is something you're just dealing with, if you've only been ill for a little amount of time, then when you first start researching how you can heal, seeing all of these different options and the different things that you can do can be quite confusing, because you naturally feel like you have to choose a path, and in some situations you have to choose a tribe. For example, with veganism, there's a serious stigma about veganism as a thing beyond just eating, and all of these things can be very confusing. My approach to this confusion was simply this: how can I do literally everything that I can do all at once without one thing compromising the other thing? For example, I found many people talking about how important diet is for healing, and I took that as a foundation for my own healing process. I personally did a Candida diet to heal, but I've heard many stories of people healing with veganism, vegetarianism, or even just eating meat, just eating fruits. There are a lot of different diets you can use to heal, but what I discovered in time, when especially after I healed and was able to look at the whole thing a lot more clearly, what I realized is that it's not what you eat, it's what you don't eat. It's the poison you stop putting into your body which heals you more so than the specific things you are eating. That is sugar, gluten, milk products, anything that's been processed, and caffeine. If you stop consuming all of these things, whatever diet you do, you are definitely going to be healthier than you were before. So in picking the right diet for you, it's simple. Look at what resonates with you. If you really love meat and meat feels right for you, then it might be correct for you to eat an only meat diet. Whereas if you have the knowledge about your own body of, when I eat meat, my gut aches, for example, it causes stomach problems. If you're someone like this, then don't eat meat, eat vegetables. But sometimes eating vegetables causes gut problems for some people, or sometimes legumes can have the same effect. So it's all about listening to the body and figuring out what works for you and sticking with that diet. So I took diet as a foundation, but then on top of that, I wanted to put as many different detox methods as I could to try and heal myself. So if you look at certain people, for example, let's take Wim Hof. He would be really focused on doing breath work and doing some kind of cold therapy. But among his videos, you're less likely to find much content about what you should eat, or for example, using specific supplements, which can be helpful for detoxification. So in order to try and take every single thing that I could do, my thought process was simply, if I can do this and do them both consistently at the same time, then why would I not be getting the plus from this and the plus from this? So in this thought process, what I did personally to heal in terms of detox methods was I used specific supplements which were going to be helpful for my situation. I did cold showers consistently every day. I did red light therapy consistently every day. I found other things that I could do, such as I started doing breathing exercises as well, and even other smaller things like a simple spine stretch called the spinal twist, which, if you find that online, that is something you can do which helps with both spinal alignment and allowing the energies of the body to function properly. So my recommendation for you philosophically and in terms of your thought process for healing when it comes to the idea of action is take all of the action you can. You have to consider that, especially in your life, if you are chronically ill at the moment, the more things you do, the more steps you take towards healing, the quicker you're going to reach that place of healing. If we reach towards healing and if we run towards healing, eventually we are going to get to healing. And sometimes that healing does take time. It can take a year, it can take multiple years. It depends on how long you've been in a state of chronic illness and how long you've had to deal with the toxic elements which have been causing your illness. And that can be psychology, it can be diet, it can be environmental causes, different things. So it can take some time to heal. As long as we want to willfully aim for healing, we have to take all of the action that we possibly can to get to that place. And that's why my thought on action is this: take every single step you can, do every single thing that you can, do them all at the same time, do them all consistently. And this will bring healing to you a lot quicker than just doing a diet or just doing a detox method and not thinking about your diet. Do a diet, do detox methods, and very critically, of course, work on your mentality. Work on being in the right place about healing, about chronic illness. You have to really understand what chronic illness is, what healing is, and why you're chronically ill. Because the why question about chronic illness, the answer is not simply physical. The answer is physical as well as about your life. It's about where you came from and where you're going. Chronic illness is always a stopping point between the past and the future. And we simply have to figure out where we are now and how to take the steps towards our future and not get stuck in chronic illness for a lengthy amount of time. I hope this video was helpful for you. I have a few more videos lined up in this series which will be looking at specifics similar to belief and action, and you can see on Instagram I've already posted these ideas in text form, so that can be a starting point for you. See you in the next video.